With the month of Christmas right around the corner, I think it is time, once and for all, to finally talk about an anime that has been airing since October of 2025 this year, and that is Sanda. Yep, Sanda, brand new spanking anime coming out from Science Saru. I'm 10 episodes deep in this show as of me recording this video, and with the show wrapping up and concluding in the next couple weeks, I figured to just simply drop my review of the show right here, right now, to simply tell you how I feel. But yes, Sanda. This is by the same studio that gave us the wonderful and amazing DanDaDan anime that everyone knows and loves. And like I said, Dawn on season one, season two should be no introduction at this point. And Science Saru has been a studio to look out for in recent memory, given that not only was Dawn on like one of the best animes of last year, but their second season that they dropped not too long ago earlier this year is honestly like one of the best animes of 2025 at the moment. But would it be the number one spot, number 10? Who knows? But with the Sanda anime here, it's definitely taking a different approach that I would not expect Science Saru to really adapt in at this point, considering that I think it's clear that within the short amount of time, Science Saru Studios has really established itself as a studio to just adapt some of the weirdest, obscurest manga out there, and Sanda is no exception. And to give a little bit of synopsis of what the show is all about, it's basically about a future where children are few and regarded as Japan's most valuable assets. Christmas has become a mere legend of the past for the students of Daikaku Welfare Academy, a boarding school where they are educated, protected, and monitored. The mythical Santa Claus is a forgotten character of fiction. For the adults, Santa Claus is a very real menace that needs to be neutralized by the Saint Nick Pursuit Unit in case he makes an appearance. Shiori Fuyumura, a student of Daikaku Welfare Academy, is determined to find her best friend Ichi Ono, who has been declared dead after being missing for 6 months. One morning, Fuyumura summons her fellow class representative Kusuhika Sanda only to attack the unknowing boy. She's convinced that Sanda is the descendant of the infamous Santa Claus, the only person who can make her wish of finding Ono come true, and is determined to force out his dormant true self by any means necessary. So yeah, basically, with me just reading that synopsis right here, right now, it's pretty much like a really cool, interesting little twist, a little play on like the whole like if you believe in Santa Claus, if you don't believe in Santa Claus type of trope. And it's really cool. It's really unique. The animation, the art style is really crisp, really clean by Science Saru as always. It is a much more different and more unique direction for its time, and the characters in the show are actually like super good, really lovable, and the colors just stand out and pop up really well. And every time when our main character Sonda transforms into the infamous and mighty, big, buff, bearded, nuts to butt Santa Claus, he's ready to kick ass, take names, and get people believing in Santa Claus again. Because this feels like a story that, if you heard from many Santa Claus carols and movies and TV shows in the past, it's basically about getting kids to believe in Santa Claus, and that's where majority of like where this is stemming from. But it's also providing us like a little bit like a murder mystery kind of feel as the anime has been progressing further and further on. And like I said, I love every little bit of this show all the way, from its amazing visuals to its really unique villains. One of the main villains and protagonists in this show being the main head professor with Hifumi Oshibu, who honestly is like one of the most crazy and deranged villains out there, where his whole persona has been where he replaced every bit of piece of his body with plastic surgery, and he becomes like an unstoppable immortal fucking being. And it's really out there, really zany, really goofy, that makes you wonder, like, man, how is this show going to get any more weirder, any more crazier than it is? And again, there's even moments where like Sonda as Santa Claus does some of the weirdest, obscurest ways to like defeating a certain enemy or solving a certain problem, and it just comes off really nice, really wholesome, and just overall really creative. And as we're diving deeper into these final episodes, and one of the reasons why I wanted to drop this review now was that I felt like at this point there really isn't a whole lot left for it to offer from here, because in the final moments of the show we're now being diving in deep into like what would happen when Santa Claus is to fulfill a wish of a kid who was born as a murderer, as a killer. And we see that in full fruition within these last three episodes, from episodes, I believe, 7 through 10 as of late. And it really goes to show like what it dived into, from that perspective to the ups and downs of what it's like to grow up and become an adult. and it's really foreshadowing a really big climactic 2 episode finale, which I definitely can't wait to check out. I cannot wait to see, and it's looking like it's going to be one of the better underrated animes of the year. And as much as I really do like the show overall, I do have a few itty bits of issues with the show, which made me like really reel in and really starting to love the show and like give it like an amazing overall review of it. And that is that the pacing at times can be really slow. And what I mean by this is that it happens and occurs quite often throughout the very beginning of the show. Where honestly, truthfully, when I first started the show, I actually was gonna drop it like after 2, 3 episodes because the pacing was just way too slow of a build up. And while yes, we got a few flashes in the pan in the earlier episodes, I just wish they came out the gate swinging with that they like they did with their past anime works that Science Saru is known for. Another thing that is also a bit apparent and a bit weak is that I feel like this show is stuck in where it needs to be like aired per se in the winter season, if that makes sense. Because like I said, I think we can agree for anyone that's like a casual, normal anime fanatic, when people are like, "Oh yeah, go watch Sanda. It's a really amazing, incredible anime." They're going to see this and see everything about it and be like, "Oh, this is like a Christmas anime." Okay, nah, screw it. I'm just gonna wait till Christmas time to watch it. What's the point? And I think that's the other thing that I feel this show might be held back on is that like a lot of people are not going to check this anime out because they're going to associate it as like a Christmas anime. It's kind of like how it is when it's like your favorite Christmas music comes on, like Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" comes on. It's like okay, I'm not gonna listen to that till next freaking year. Like that's why I feel like Sanda is gonna sadly be a part of as a result now with this anime coming closer to the end. And finally, I guess the last criticism I gotta say about this show that was kind of apparent, and maybe this is from me personally, but I felt some of the character dynamics of some of the characters just didn't gel well with each other. Like, for instance, like Sanda Fuyamura's characters dynamic together was really good, well displayed, really good chemistry. But then when it comes to like characters, when Sanda interacts with like Nico, for example, in the show, or in the case of like Fuyamura interacting with the adult version of Ono, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like there's like little to no chemistry going on, and it just comes off like really weird, really awkward, and it leaves you, at least the viewer, just feeling like not really interested in the dynamic. What's the fucking point? I'm only here for the two main characters that clearly have a crazy dynamic, and yet they work itself out well. So I think if they could just work on the character dynamics a little bit with some of the characters, I think it would have been like also a lot more gripping to say. And then finally, the last thing I'll also add, even though I said that that was the last thing, is some of the fight sequences can be like a little bit drab, a little bit cliche. Sometimes the fights don't even really extend itself long, and it does cut to like really, really short. Like some of the times you get some really good, amazing action fight sequences, but then it just like boom, cuts, stops, roll credits, and then we have to wait till the next episode. I really wish they just kept that momentum going, just didn't cut it right then and there into the next episode. So overall, I think Sanda is a really good, really surprising anime to come out for the Christmas season of all things. Considering that this was coming out towards the very tail end of this year, I think it's a really good standard anime. Would I consider this over like other Science Saru anime shows up until this point? Not really, but I think with a potential season two, I feel like Sanda can go the extra mile and really improve upon itself and become like a really standout force in a future anime adaptation. So, with that being said, I think Sanda, at the current state it is, and going where how these last 2 episodes are going to pan out, I think I would personally give this like a light to decent 7 on this thing. It's really good, it's really stand out, and I just wanted to simply get this one out of the way as well today because, hey, why not? I mean, this is a really good show, it's easily accessible, and I really, really like it. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you on the next one. Later.